President Trump getting praise across the board after securing that historic peace deal between Israel and Hamas. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who had a major hand in those negotiations, pins the success on Trump's diplomacy.
Yesterday was a human story. And because of the work you put in, and honestly, not only is there no other leader in the world that could have put this together, Mr. President, but frankly, I don't know of any American president in the modern era that could have made this possible because of the actions you have taken unrelated to this.
Joining us now is U.S. Ambassador to NATO, Matt Whitaker. Matt, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us today. It is no small thing for the president to maintain close relationships with the leaders of Israel, Qatar, Egypt, and maintaining them after having bombed Iran. So what are your reflections on Secretary Rubio's statements there, also in light of the fact that we're just learning that President Trump has not received the Nobel Peace Prize for his efforts?
Well, obviously, Secretary Rubio is absolutely correct. Donald Trump personally was involved in this, convened a meeting on the sidelines of the United Nations Assembly, where he brought a lot of these Islamic leaders to the table to get a deal constructed, presented it to the Israelis then, and got a deal made. And it's obviously disappointing that the Nobel Prize Committee didn't select President Trump. Not surprising. But if you think about where we are and the number of peace deals that President Trump has made just during his term, the 8 peace deals in the last 8 or so months, we have really gone from a moment in human history where it was always about war and rumors of war to now we're talking about peace and rumors of peace. And we only have a few more conflicts to settle on the planet before all the people of the world can live in peace and prosperity. So it's really exciting time. And it's all because of Donald Trump.
Yeah, when you are seemingly the only person in all of humanity who has gotten the Middle East to this point of peace, some might say that necessitates the awarding of the Nobel Prize, but we will see maybe next year for his work this year. I want to move on now to another big war, Russia-Ukraine. President Trump meeting with the president of Finland at the White House as NATO defense ministers set to meet in Brussels next week to discuss the Russia-Ukraine war. That is where you are right now. Here is President Trump on stepping up the pressure regarding that war. Watch.
We're all stepping it up. NATO's been great. The leader of NATO, as you know, Mark, has been fantastic, I think, and he's a fantastic guy. And they are stepping it up. And we're selling a lot of weapons to NATO, and that's going, I guess, to Ukraine for the most part. That's up to them.
Matt, NATO ambassador, so used to calling you Matt. How much longer can Russia withstand this concerted pressure now that Donald J. Trump has NATO fully invested to the conflict that, in many respects, is in their own backyard for most of these countries?
Yeah, well, first of all, Todd, I've been called a lot worse. But that being said, I'm coordinating those, U.S. weapons being sold to our NATO allies, then being provided to Ukraine. And, it's going very well. Europe is stepping up. It's part of the overall burden sharing that we have negotiated coming out of the summit that we had in The Hague in June. And so there's a lot of good news. And one of the things that I think we need to understand, and I'd like folks watching to understand, is that while Vladimir Putin has tried to divide this alliance, tried to divide NATO, tried to divide the West, we've only become closer. We're only working more cooperatively and more collaboratively. And the Europeans, who for so long ignored their own security in favor of, very lavish public benefits, they're finally getting serious and investing in real capabilities. And those capabilities are what's going to continue to make NATO strong and continue to keep the NATO alliance safe and secure and deter future wars. But at the same time, we need this Russian-Ukraine war to end. President Trump obviously has been focused on this, but he has said that both sides are not ready to make a deal, and he's going to let them continue to fight it out. Hopefully, better angels will overcome those desires, and especially on the Russian side. And we're going to continue to increase the pressure on them, whether that's the potential of deep strike capabilities provided to the Ukrainians, or whether that is a more robust activity regarding the shadow fleet that moves the oil from Russia to folks that are still buying it, like China, India, and Brazil. So we're going to continue to do the important here. It's oftentimes not super sexy, but you know what? It's important, and ultimately, it's going to prevent wars from ever starting in the first place.
Yeah, and President Trump said this week that he is still considering those Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine when Russia has made it clear they hate that idea. So we will be watching to see if that comes to fruition as well. U.S. Ambassador to NATO, Matt Whitaker, we thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ambassador.
Good to see you both. Thank you.
Good to see you, too.